Sibanye-Stillwater workers are adamant they won't back down from their demand for a 1,000 rand wage increase. A meeting taking place today in an attempt to end the impasse between management and the workers. Thousands of workers have been on strike for almost 3 months now, fighting for better pay. My colleague, fellow eNCA and reporter Heidi Jokos on that story today, joining us now for the update. Good afternoon, Heidi. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. We understand that the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe, was there at this meeting. What is his role?
Yes, so we got a chance to speak to him a little earlier on, Bradan, just to get a sense of why he is here at basically wage negotiations and trying to figure out how they're going to bring about an end to the strike. We basically got a sense from the minister that he is facilitating and just overseeing this meeting and this discussion between unions and Union NUM and AMCU and Sibanye-Stillwater management. What's alarming is that the minister has provided insight into the fact that the mine, which is Sibanye-Stillwater, and the unions have not been discussing the wage issues face to face. They've been basically emailing each other, and they've basically only met once or twice since the beginning of the strike. The strike has been going on for 2 months now, and they have not been discussing these issues face to face. So the minister's basically been the nudge between the two to say, you need to be in the same room together, you need to have a discussion together. What's also interesting is that the minister said that there was no request from unions for government intervention or the president's intervention, which is quite different to what we saw happening on Workers' Day at that Kasatu rally, where you had unions and workers pleading with the president to intervene with this prolonged strike that we are seeing with Sibanye and workers affiliated to NUM and AMCU. He says there was no request for an intervention, yet we know that the president even wrote in his weekly letter 2 days after that Workers' Day Kasatu rally that the frustrations have been heard from workers and there needs to be some kind of intervention and assistance from government. But let's perhaps get more insight from the minister. We got a chance to speak to him earlier on. Let's listen in.
Unions have not asked for intervention from the president, except for Sunday when he was disrupted in Rustenburg. That is not asking for intervention. And the Rustenburg intervention is why some were strange in the disruptions, in the sense that it was not mine workers who disrupted the president. It was public sector unions that disrupted the president. So that is strange enough. So what is important about today is that unions have met the employer for the second time, face to face. To me, that is important. And it is where the progress of failure will happen. It's not going to happen because government is here. It is going to happen because unions and employers talk to one another.
So what is the minister hoping will come out of today's meeting, Heidi?
So what we understand is that the minister's hoping that the two parties will be able to come to some kind of agreement. What we do know is that Sibanye-Stillwater is only putting 850 rand salary increase on the table, whereas the unions, AMCU and NUM, are asking for 1,000 rand salary increase, and the two parties are seemingly not coming to any kind of agreements. What we do know is that NUM and AMCU decided to drop their initial a salary increase figure from 1,500 to 1,000 rand, and they feel as though this was some kind of compromise for them. However, Sibanye is saying that it's going to cost them over R1 billion if they do give them the 1,000 rand salary increase. Now, what we also know is the fact that the gold operations of Sibanye only contributes about 6% to their operations. Live on eNCA yesterday, Rupuyo Madzena interviewed Sibanye, where they've said they've basically saved on costs because of this strike. So the minister is saying that he is worried that there's a prolonged strike. He says this should not be so long and the two parties need to come to some sort of agreement. He's still here. There's still meetings going on between the two parties, and the minister, of course, just being a facilitator and saying that the two need to meet and come to some kind of agreement, whether it be today or tomorrow, but he's hoping for that to be today. Let's listen to the Minister once again.
The resolution, the responsibility of unions is to represent the interests of their members. That is the role of trade unions. Once they stop doing that, there is no role for them. Trade unions are here, they must talk to the employer. The employer employs those members. That's why the discussion should be at that level and find a solution. Just imagine this. We begin to negotiate at Sibanye. Next week we'll have to go to Harmony and negotiate and move on to Anglo Platinum. It can't be a sustainable way of doing collective bargaining. There are options. One of the options that is at the disposal of the country is that we do away with collective bargaining. The state must have a right to make determinations every year, and everybody complies. I don't think that works. It didn't work in Australia. It won't work here.